I definitely saw the last Avengers movie because that was before I went to prison. I remember like walking into that hot ass theater, stressed about going to prison in like 2 weeks or something like that, being like, "This is the last fun thing I'll probably do before."
No, this is my end game.
This is my
dude. That sucks, man.
Yeah. Oh man, that was the worst. That was so awful.
Yeah.
I have nightmares of that all the time. Not all the time, but like at least once a year. I'm like, I did something really bad and I'm going to jail. And then I'm like, what? It's in there somewhere. What have I done? What have I done?
Yeah.
I just remember like we stopped at a Zaxby's. And
what's that?
It's a chicken restaurant, like chicken fingers and fries. Like we were like 3 miles from the prison, and we stopped there to like eat because we had like an hour to kill. And I was just the most miserable meal.
Killing time before prison.
I had no sleep the night before, and we had gotten Kitty wanted to go with me, so Kitty and a friend drove us, and I was just in the back of the car trying to get sleep, like laying down because I'd been up all night, like trying to sleep, but I couldn't sleep. And we stopped at that Zaxby's, and that was just the most miserable, like chicken finger lunch, and I was just like, this is the last thing I'll have.
Oh man,
dude, it stresses me out to like empathize and put myself in that situation.
And then they drive me up to the fucking prison. I'm like, give me some cigarettes. I'm smoking her cigarettes out there. I'm like burning them fucking down, like trying to get some stress relief. And I'm like, yeah, I go in right there, and I go up right there, and the guy's like, yeah, you don't come in here, you go in over there. And I'm like, already we fucked up. We got to go somewhere else.
Well, that's an extra month.
Yeah, and you know, just finally getting in there and trying to like feel the guards out while I'm waiting on the metal detector, being like, what's it like here? I want to like really pitch in and do my part.
Shut the fuck up.
He just like punches me in the face immediately.
In your heart of hearts, you were walking into prison, had any part of you thought out cool lines to say to what you anticipated the other prisoners would ask?
About like why I was there?
Like what you in for?
Like, yeah, what are you in for? Like a cool, like I'm a cool guy, I'm a chill guy, I'm a nice guy, like that kind of approach.
I just think I'm better on my feet with stuff like that. So I didn't. I knew that there were certain things that I didn't want to say. It was the other way around. I had thought of things that I wanted to make sure I didn't say or ask.
So I'm not a YouTuber. I'm not him.
Yeah, I want to go in there like, yeah. Well, I mean, the guards recognized me, so that was a thing right away. But it was more a list of things that I didn't want to say or ask. Like I didn't want to go in there asking anybody about what are you in for. For all I know, it might be a touchy fucking subject
for raping someone who asked.
So like little things like that. But yeah, that night before was so goddamn stressful. So goddamn stressful. Oh my god. That whole week leading up to it. I mean, for a long time leading up to it was just like, man, these days barely matter.
Would you ever wake up and it didn't feel real?
In prison? No,
like pre-prison, like the coming punishment.
Oh, it felt real as shit. I guess maybe it's just the way that I like wrap my head around things. Like I've told that story before about like getting home from jail, that first night of jail, and taking a piss in my own bathroom, and like having the hot water running next to me, and being like, today is the first day of me getting through the shit I did yesterday. And there are going to be a lot of days between now and the end, but the end day involves me sitting on a couch and there's a bong on a coffee table at the end of this. And I don't know how long there is between me and that bong, but we gotta grind that shit the fuck out. And it ended up being like 3.5, 4 years.
Yeah. It was like a felon's tale.
It ended up being like about 4 fucking years.
To get there. Like
a hobbit's tale, but a felon's tale. It takes forever. There and back again. A felon's tale by Kyle.
So whenever I was happy with the sentence. Like I was happy with the 2 months. Like it could have been 6 months and it could have been 5 years of probation, and it was 2 months and 2 years of probation, which was all tolerable. But painful nonetheless. I felt it was. Look, I didn't think anything was just or fair about the whole thing.
It wasn't.
Although
targeted
I was
because of your YouTube shit.
Yeah, more. Yeah. So in the end, like it was like I wasn't heavy-handed, and that also wasn't nothing. It just like I wasn't crying. I walked outside, and it was like a sunny day, and I was like shaking hands with my lawyer and smiling. And I got in my car and I called my dad, and I was like, "Good news." He didn't know my sentencing was that day. I didn't tell anybody. I like whenever something's like stressful or whatever, like I shield everybody else from that stuff. And like me talking about it ain't gonna make me feel any better. Anybody who thinks that is just like it's like what do you want me to cry? What do you want me to fucking cry about it?
Yeah.
I've been watching
why make everybody else fucking stressed around you? Like
I do that too.
I had a conversation. I had one conversation with my I had one conversation with my parents around the holidays, or no, it would have been maybe like 4th of July or something like that. I hadn't been sentenced yet, but sentencing was coming up, regardless of the time frame. And I told them, I was like, this thing's coming up. I might have to do some time. I might have to go away for like 2 or 3 or 4 years. I was like, at the worst case, I don't think that's what's going to happen, but that's what I'm prepared for. And so I went in prepared for 3 or 4 years. And at the last minute, like things had shifted dramatically in my favor behind the scenes. And now the worst thing that could happen was 6 months. And that's the news I got on that day.
Fuck.
And I just had watched the judge give a Mexican guy who had been driving a truck of liquid methamphetamine cross the border into Atlanta. He was part of like a ring of guys, and they had basically put him away for the rest of his life. Like it was like decades. And so like and it was, that did not feel good to see. That was scary shit. So anyway, I was not, when I was like, Dad, good news. I got 2 months. And it's going to be 2 months in like not a scary place, like maybe even in a halfway house. Like I was pumped about the verdict or the
dude. You just man, my chest got tight listening. Fucking 4 years. Like
you want your chest to get tight? Listen to this one. There was a day. All right, I'm in bed with my girlfriend. It's like. I don't know it doesn't matter what day of the week is. It's like 9 a.m. The sun's coming up for the windows. We're kind of sitting up in bed talking about what kind of breakfast to order, like talking about what we're going to do that day. My phone rings. My heart just started beating. My phone rings, and it's the Athens County like federal court, and they're like, "Mr. Myers, where are you? You are supposed to be in courtroom number 3. We have called you 4 times." And I'm like, what? And like
just that sinking feeling in your stomach.
Today is like, I don't remember exactly what we're doing that day, but there are no not important days in federal court.
These are essential.
Like this is like step 2 of 3 or 4. None of these are not important steps. And so I think I call my lawyer, and he's like, yeah, they messed up. Don't worry. Get in here as fast as you can, though, because I don't. No, he didn't. No, he said somebody messed up. Get in here as fast as you can. That's all I got. So like, I think I'm in a tremendous amount of trouble. So like, no shower, fucking suits going on. Can't find my belt. Fucking can't find the right tie. I'm just like I'm in a suit and out the door in 7 minutes. And we're driving, and I can't speed on the way to my fuck. So I'm just like, I'm in the car, and I'm just like, do I have my ID? Like I don't like. Do I have my money? Do I I'm 7 minutes ago I was fucking like groggy and thinking about what kind of coffee to have, where I wanted Americano or whatever the fuck. and now I'm like apparently heading to some sort of sentencing guideline nonsense or something. And when I got there, thank God, the prosecutor, God rest her soul, she said, "I'm so sorry. My bad. My people should have done this." And I was so happy, because you know how cops can be sometimes when they're in the wrong, but you've got to take the brunt of it. Like I've literally seen cops rear end people and like get out, like, "Show me your hands." Like, like, are you out of your mind? But she was like, whatever the error was, it was on her end. She apologized, and I was like, "Don't apologize to me. Just let me know everything's okay. Like I don't care." And just like, "No, everything's fine. The judge knows. Everyone knows it's not your fault." And I was like, good. I was so fucking scared. I'm this like ill-fitting suit because I just like grabbed shit. Like I'm telling like it was like this jacket, that shirt, that tie, pants. Do I need the pants? Jeans, my jammies could work. No, not your jammies. All right, fine. it was so, I was so fucking scared getting dressed. I was so fucking scared getting dressed because like
you're late, man. You already fucked up in your head, and you're like, I'm supposed to be there now, and I still have to drive there.
And you're worried it's going to be on some judge report where they're like, "Oh, this person clearly doesn't take their rehabilitation seriously whatsoever."
That's exactly. And there are people in the system who do that, and those are the cases you hear about. They get maximum sentencing guideline shit. It's like, yeah, he spit on the judge and told him to stick it up their ass. They gave him this, that, and the other. Well, on the other end, there's guys who just like don't show up late and shit, and they don't show they're serious about this whole thing. Oh my God, I was so scared that I'm like, I'm going to prison now. I was afraid they might be like, all right, well, he's in contempt of court. Let's put out a bench warrant on him. You know, he's a fugitive now, maybe even because you know I've been released by the federal marshals. Like before the federal, there was a process one day where I go into a federal building and surrender. And I did the thing where I put my hands up as a joke to try to start off on a good foot, and nobody laughed. And then they just took my DNA, my fingerprints, and like my passport, which I still haven't gotten back.
Nobody laughed.
No, it wasn't a situation where it would have been awkward to laugh. They were like, it was me and two guys like in a little room, and they were like taking my DNA swab. I was like, I surrender. They're like,
better check my ass, officer. And like, that's the plan, sir. Bend over.
you know how like those Reddit things would be like, and then everyone clapped. Yeah. It was like, and no one clapped. Like it did not go over well. But yeah, I've like surrendered myself to the U.S. Marshal thing, and like they'll come after me if I go running. Yeah, that was a stressful fucking day. That was nonsense.
Yeah, it is ridiculous,
bro. I tell you, I have just bad dreams. It's either that or I'm back at corporate work, and I'm just like terrified.
Prison was very similar to corporate work. We had cubicles, very regimented. Yeah, fluorescent lighting.
Yeah.